and how are you doing? I'm going to carry on and read the Thomas Troward entering The Hidden Power is the book. And what I realized is that I say things different to some of you. Now, yesterday, whenever I was doing I did some live masterclasses. I don't know if you've seen them. If you haven't, just check out in my group or in the Bob Proctor groups as well. And I said, so I was talking about 8 questions. Do you get the number? The number 8 questions, yeah? And I was talking about an article, and I asked people to text it, or to say yes, it, in below if they wanted those 8 questions. So by the way, if you want those 8 questions, and it's the questions that everybody should be asking themselves, and it finds out where you are now and what it is you want, and it tells you a little bit of what's going to stop you. So it's talking about paradigms. So if you want those 8 questions, just write the number 8 below, and then I can send it to you. But here's the thing, is that the way I say it, people started writing yes, it. And when the first one came in, I thought, yes, it. What did I ask? I can't remember now. And I had to go through. And then more yes, it's come in. Everybody said yes, it. So I just realized that, isn't it funny, our perception that I'm talking properly from my lovely little Northern Irish accent, and I'm saying the number 8, and people are thinking it's it. So there you go. If you want that article, 8 questions that you should add that warrant attention in your life, then just write the number 8 down there and I will send it to you. Good morning, Brenda. I hope you understand the way I speak. So when I was just saying the word there, the hidden power, I was thinking, power. And people have said that to me before, and they repeat exactly what I say. And I go, yes, power. And they're like going, power. And I'm like, yeah. And then I get it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, sorry, it's the way I say it. Power. What is it that you say that you think you've said and the other person has done something different? How many times has that happened? Well, I said it very clearly and they should have understood. Let me give you another example of something. Before I read this article, I'm off on one now. Whenever I used to be an IT trainer, and many, many years ago when it was Introduction to Computers, and yeah, the number 8, thank you, Brenda. So I did Introduction to Computers, and I said to everybody, okay, if we can just right click, and every single person in that class, there were about 12 people, and they picked up a pen and they started to write. And I said, what are you all doing? And they said, well, you told us to right click. So they were actually writing the word click, CLICK. It's like laughing, going, oh my God, that is so funny. That shows you how long ago this was, because I think it's about 25 years ago that I did Introduction to Computers. And so what I did then, I used to just play a game, because I knew then that the people just didn't get it. And so I used to play a game every time I did that class. Okay, everybody right click, and see how many people actually would pick up a pen and start writing the word click. So there you go. What is it that you're saying that you think people understand? Or what is it that you think that you just even have to feel? That you think somebody's just going to pick up your ESP messages and get it? Remember, it's not what you say, it's how it's received. Because remember, that person has a whole different filter. Their mind is off somewhere else. And so it's like whenever you're reading an article. So the reason why we read and read and reread things, so I've asked you to read for 90 days The Science of Getting Rich, chapter 4, 14, and 7, is because you'll read it from one perception one day and another perception the next day and another perception the next day. So if you're having an argument with somebody, or you don't understand why somebody's acting the way they are, remember, it's not what you said, it's how it was received. And everybody is picking up different things at different times depending on what's going on in their lives. So there you go. This is something interesting to know about. Really think about understanding, asking them to understand and repeat back to you, what is it that we've discussed here, so that I can understand. I mean, I'm in a really lucky position because I've got the wonderful Wolfgang. I should just call him that all the time, shouldn't I? The wonderful Wolfgang. And with him being Austrian, and so obviously he's grown up with a different language to think about. So even though he speaks very good English and speaks English all the time, he still, his thought processes that go on in his neurons are different. So when I say something, he goes, I didn't get that. And I'm like, what didn't you get? It's so simple. And he really taught me to learn to explain things and to figure it out so that I can say it in a way that he understood. And we will sometimes go through different ways, and then he'll go, oh, yes, I understand that. Sometimes we have to go back to his language, to German, for him to think of it in German and then to be able to translate it back to himself. Isn't it amazing? Like, we're just not wired the same. So stop treating everybody the same. Like, well, I've said it this way. Anyway, this one is entering into the spirit of it. This was a game changer for me yesterday, myself and my colleague. So if you want to do some reading and you want to change your life, find an accountability partner and read together and discuss it together, because different things come out and where your perception is and where you are. And remember, your perception is just your point of view. So when you read it, you just get your point of view. But when you read with someone else, you get their perception and it shifts your perception. You go, we literally got to the end. We'd been reading for an hour. We got to the end and each of us led up to a certain conversation and we said something at the end and then we stopped and we went, wow, wow. And we just sat there for a couple of minutes and we just went, how do you feel? Well, I feel like I am in space. You've just shifted something in my whole body. She was exactly the same. And we both just shifted right there and then. It was an amazing experience. And right after that call, that's where I had to put it into action. Here's the thing. Anything that you read, if you don't put into action, you don't remember. You get it here intellectually. That's okay. But you need to live it. And let me tell you, the universe came along and gave me something to live that experience that I just had. Something that was just like, okay, so you think you've got it now, Sheena? Let's just test you out on this one. And so, yeah, all day it was tested. And I was just like, I'm staying here, I'm staying here, I'm staying here. And this is the discipline of the reading. Yeah? This is the discipline. Not the discipline of the stuff out there, not the discipline of doing your work, the discipline of your thoughts and your feelings and your actions. Yeah, praxis, belief and behaviors that are matched. Well, I knew that I didn't have to find out what my old belief was. I knew what my new belief was. And I had to behave in line with that new belief. And I would not do anything else to change that. And I just stayed inside and I disciplined my head and my body to make sure that it stayed in alignment with that belief all day. And then magic flipping happened like you wouldn't believe. I'm not going to the story, but you'll hear it another time. But wow, okay, so that is the discipline now. That's what we teach with Bob. Because if you think you can do that on your own, then you're just amazing. I couldn't do it on my own. I've had to train myself to be here, and that's what I train you to do as well. So it starts with the 8 questions. But here's the first thing. We'll just get into the first paragraph to get you going. I might have to just do this tomorrow because I've gone off on a tangent. So the one that shifted my life. Now here's the thing. People ask, well, what was it for you, Sheena? What was it for you that shifted that over the other? Good morning, Lizzie. What was it? Now, here's the thing. It's like a list of dominoes, okay? And so you can copy everything that everybody did, but if you're not doing it in the order that's right for you, you're not going to get the results. We're too busy, right, watching somebody else. It's great. We get lots of different advice, but then it's time to come into you and ask you the questions is what do you want and what do you need to read? And you will be led and led and led and led to different things. then you can, look outside and somebody will say something and you'll pick it up and you go into that. Don't just follow exactly, um, like, well, I read this book and yeah, everything changed for me. So I read this chapter and I had a change. But there was lots of different things that led up to that. It was the same for my colleague as well, where lots of different things led up to her. But it's like the domino effect. My last domino in that shift could be your first domino. Yeah? So it's still going to be in there. It's still going to knock the next domino down, but you may not get the shift that I got, or you may get an even bigger shift. I don't know. But just read it and internalize it, and you will shift. It is the internalization, and it is not the knowledge of this information. It is about what you do with it and how you practice it during the day. Practice everything on a tiny, tiny level in here, that our behaviors and our thoughts and our feelings match the belief that we want to have. I don't care what your previous beliefs are. If it's not working for you, don't bother investigating it. Go, I choose this new belief. It can be that simple. And then when you enter into the spirit of it, which is what this chapter is, enter into the spirit of it and really understand. Stop doing things mechanically, which is what we're always doing. We're taking actions in the outside world without actually having an intention before we do it. Well, we think we do, but we're not in the spirit of what we're doing and understanding who we truly are before we do a task. We just, I must do this, I must do this, I must do this. Oh my God, I didn't send my, if you're network marketing, oh my God, I didn't send my 100 messages today. That's mechanical. And yes, you're going to get some results. But the true work is the work that you do inside before you do anything, and how you visualize it and how you enter into the spirit of it. Yeah, so entering into the spirit of it, what a common expression, and yet how much it really means, how absolutely everything. We enter into the spirit of an undertaking, into the spirit of a movement, into the spirit of an author, even into the spirit of a game. And it makes all the difference both to us and to that which we enter. A game without any spirit is a poor affair. An association in which there is no spirit falls to pieces, and a spiritless undertaking is sure to be a failure. Because we're acting mechanically. We're acting mechanically. We just do. Yeah? Act with love. I realized how I even made dinner. Like, I can make you flippin' roast dinner whatever time it takes to cook. Like, everybody says, oh, it takes forever to prepare. No, I'd have it all prepared in 5 minutes and like literally on. I can make you a spaghetti bolognese in 5 minutes and like literally be eating it in the next 5 minutes. This is Speedy Gonzales. And you say, if you want something done, ask a busy person. Oh, please just stop being busy and start appreciating and be in the spirit of what you're doing and make your food with love. And then I would eat my food in 5 minutes and while I'm watching television. Like, I'm not even concentrating on what I'm doing, and how you do one thing is how you do everything. Yeah. Hi, Justine. Lovely to meet you this morning. So, on the other hand, the book, which is meaningless to the unsympathizing reader, is full of life and suggestion to those who enter into the spirit of the writer. The man who enters into the spirit of music finds a spring of refreshment in some fine recital, which is entirely missed by the cold critic who comes only to judge according to the standard of a rigid rule. And so on in every case that we think of it. That's the thing about standard of rigid rules. So, as a coach, and like I used to be in sales, and we'd have people who would come out and they would judge you on 10 things. Tick, 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 tick. Like, that's not it. And I was like going, like, you don't get it. How do you judge a relationship between two people? Yeah? That I would go in and I would have a relationship with the consultant that I was speaking with, and I would get to know them. I actually had one time when I started to do contracts to prove my point, and I would get number one like that, no problem. I would do the contract for 3 to 5 months and I would get to number one. And I remember the last one that I did, and the manager came out with me, and she was basically horrified at my lack of technical But she thought my ability, but I went, but I don't believe in the data, but I do believe in what you're doing here, that it's an option for people, and I know I can get them to prescribe it. And she was horrified, but you need to go through the clinical data. You need to do this. So off she went and she did all that, and she was mechanical. Now, we were there for an hour. She went through the papers, and I just sat back and watched her, and I went, this is really interesting. He's not even, he's, he's, he's asking questions, but you could tell his whole body language that she completely missed out, that she was being mechanical. She didn't enter into the spirit of it. So then, whenever we came out of the call, she criticized me to no end. I thought that she said, I expected better of you, Sheena. And I just thought, this is so interesting, but never mind. That's fine. She's the manager. Then the next time we went out, and I just thought, I'm going to pretend she's not there. Like, she's just not there. And I met the consultant in the corridor, and we had a great chat, and we caught up on old times. Now, bear in mind, I'd known these guys for like 15 years, and we had a good chat. And he said, Sheena, I'm really interested in what you have to say. I asked him a question then about the drug, and he said, Sheena, I'm really interested in what you have to say. And if you can persuade these guys here to that your viewpoint is right, then, I'm right behind you all the way. I trust you. Then I went, that's great. That's wonderful. And then we carried on about, how I could do it. But it was a 5-minute conversation. That was it. So basically in that call, in the corridor, we turned everything round by 360 degrees. I mean, it was literally, he switched places. He flipped his decision because he wasn't prescribing it before. Now he's just said he would do whatever. Yeah. So that was a relationship that I had. That was getting into the spirit of it. That was really understanding him and what it was he wanted. So then whenever I was asking him the question, I was on his wavelength. After that call, she said to me, well, we'll not record that as a call because you didn't get your sales head out. Now, how many times do you do that in your life, that you follow procedure, you follow the strategy because you think you have to, but you're not in the spirit of it? Yeah? You're not in the spirit of it. If you're not in the spirit of it, you're just going to get the same results. When you get into the spirit of it, now this, I remember when we first became consultants, and Bob had a video and it says entering into the spirit of it, and he said, watch this every day for 30 days. But I mean, obviously I knew better than Bob. Obviously. I was like, listen to it. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Enter into the spirit of it. And you're probably doing that right now as well. Yeah, I get it. Enter into the spirit of it. It's so funny. It's just like, even Bob says this, where you listen to something 1,000 times and you think you get it, then you get it. Like, Abraham Hicks said that yesterday on her live. I don't know if you saw it. And but all of a sudden, you just, when the penny drops, you go, I never got it before. So you'll get it intellectually, but unless you live this every day, and it's osmosis, that it starts to filter through, and then ping, a penny drop. And you go, right, that's only the first piece in the slot machine. This goes deeper. I realize I didn't even get it before, but I'm starting to get it now. So I do not think for 1 minute that anything that I say to you that I've got and it's sorted, because Bob at 86 says, I'm only just scratching the surface. What do I know? So what the heck do I know? I just know that when I have a penny drop moment, it's like another level. I've just reached another level. Wow. Another level of depth as to who I truly am. And this entering into the spirit of it, if you slow down and read it. So anything that I read to you, read it over and over and over again. You may not get it this time, but you think you do. But then maybe in 6 months' time, when you come and read it again. So yes, there's books that I will read, go through very quickly, like The Convoluted Universe. It was just fascination and interest about regression, but it was the lessons from it. And I thought, wow, this is really funny. And how do I use this in my daily life, and how do I live, from the lessons that come from this? But books from like people like Thomas Troward, you don't just read and put down. Neville Goddard, you don't just read and put down. Bob Proctor, you don't just read and put down. You read and read and read and read. And then things start to change in your life. Okay? But if you could do it on your own, you'd have done it on your own. So first of all, I'm going to say this again, the number 8, if you want those 8 questions that warrant attention, which give you look at now, look in the future, and there's a bit of an article about what's stopping you from having what you want, then write number 8, or yes, 8, or at least the number 8. Yeah. So this is our everyday experience, and these are the words in which we express it, and the words are well chosen. They show our intuitive recognition of the spirit as the fundamental reality in everything, however small or however great. Let us be right as to the spirit of a thing, and everything else will successfully follow. Remember the law of cause and effect. Get into the spirit of it. If you're mechanical, your effects will be mechanical. And what is mechanical? Whatever's happened before in life. And that's it. And I just say about entering into the spirit of it. One of the things that I've actually found about Arbonne, yeah. So, in case you're wondering, why am I showing that? Because look, there you go. The spirit of this company is amazing. That is what I love about it. The spirit of it. The spirit is love, joy, peace, personal development, clarity, cleanliness, organic, cruelty free, people, planet, above profit. The spirit of the people that I work with in this company is so beautiful. That's why I stay with it. That's why I do it. The spirit of the company. Now, when I talk to you about Arbonne and I ask you to join Arbonne and I ask you to try the products, it's because I'm entering into the spirit of it and I want you to share that spirit too. I'm not talking about something mechanical. I'm not talking about, oh, here, use this product, save some money, save the planet. I'm asking you because I see something in you and I want to share this with you. That's why I've asked you, not because, oh, here comes another network marketing mental maniac. That's so funny. Marketing mental maniac. Yes, that's exactly me. Yeah. I'm asking you because I want to spend time with you. And I want to spend time with you in the Arbonne energy, because otherwise you're in your life and I'm in my life. And we both have it. You're not going to probably come into my Bob Proctor life, and I'm not going to go into your coaching life, but we can certainly join together with Arbonne that connects us, that we're using something absolutely beautiful, linking with, do you know how many consultants we've got worldwide? 350,000. 350,000 people who want personal development, growth, energy, love, joy, pure joy, limitless, the potential, the purity. That's what you're working with. And it's just a product. It's just a product, but the energy behind the product, the energy behind the company is love, pure joy, growth, development, and contribution. That's what's behind this company. So if I've asked you to join Arbonne, if I've asked you to try the products, it's because I want you to be in my life. Yeah? That's it. Nothing else. I just want to share the awesomeness of this company. And then we do our own things as well, but we have a common bond that we link together, that we walk forward and change the world like with a swoop. Can you imagine 350,000 people holding hands now and walking through the world together to change lives, to reach more people with whatever message you have in here that's unique to you, that there's a person out there in a country that you would never have reached out to before, because if you didn't have Arbonne, you wouldn't have reached out to them. You see, that's what I find that I have ended up with, because I've entered into the spirit of this, that I've reached out to people about Arbonne, and we've ended up doing different things. I've ended up being on the how thoughts become things. I'm on the credit list at the end because I was reaching out for Arbonne. Yeah, my partner's ended up doing loads of different hotel deals because he was reaching out for Arbonne to people he wouldn't have reached out to before. But there was something that drew him in. And you know where we go for conference? When you get to the top level, we go to Maui. If you don't know the significance of Maui, go and check it out. Because when I realized that's where we go. And the reason, why we're in Maui, it all just fitted. So yeah, enter into the spirit of what you're doing and be open-minded and follow the spirit, follow the joy. Yeah? Stop your paradigms, stop your closed mind. Open it up. You don't know what you're missing. If you keep being mechanical and keep being, this is what I'm doing, this is my path. Yeah? Have an expectation, but let go, because then the magic comes in. Yeah? The magic comes in. It's just totally amazing by entering into the spirit of it. There you go. I didn't really get to read this, did I? I just got all excited about entering into the spirit of it. So listen, have an awesome, awesome, awesome day. And I will, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Okie dokie. Bye.